Hi. So we're going to be doing a bit of readings, okay? We're tapping into two decks, which I don't use often, and I look forward to practicing with. It's called Oracle of the Universe. It's by Stacey DeMarco. And then we're also going to use her other deck, the Elemental Oracle. So we're going to do a bit of like, you know, what's going on in the universe kind of reading. And then we're going to do a bit of tarot with this deck to kind of see how our divine teachers and guides see how we can integrate some of this in our day-to-day, right? All for the greater good of humanity. So let's ask the angels, saints, and spirit guides into our space for divine messages from divine love. We are surrounded in divine light, so it is and so it will be. Okay, so the cards I got out first were courage. Okay, this talks about Alpha Centauri. It's known as a very bright star, and this depiction of this is quite magical. A lot of transformation here. And so I'm going to read just a bit about it. It's fascinating. Okay, so this is an emphasis of courage. To be courageous, you need to feel the fear. You can do it. Have confidence and be assured. Remember, just because something may look unusual or be strange, it doesn't mean you should fear it. Change is coming. Do not fear. It's time to try a new adventure, my dear. Oh, I love this. All right. Alpha Centauri is made up of two stars, Alpha Centauri A and B, with a third, Proxima Centauri, close by. It is the brighter star of the two, Alpha A, and both are closest star systems to our sun. Only Sirius and Canopus are brighter. Okay, so I feel like the messaging here is that you are courageous, maybe more courageous than you give yourself credit for. So if anything, take this as a sign of confirmation that like you've been very courageous on your path and journey through your difficulties and overcoming those challenges that you've faced. Okay, and I feel like, you know, you're someone that, you know, holds the ground, is very stable, is, you know, a worthy opponent. I feel like you're being seen as like, you know, solid. All right. And the reason why I'm saying solid is that like, you know, you can pull all of this wonderful energy from all kinds of different ways to create from. And then that leads us into the next card, which is literally about creation. All right. So I feel like you have this power about you, which is on the bottom of the deck over here. So I feel like whatever you powered through, you have grit. All right. And that is not anything anyone can do or take or manipulate. I feel like this goes so deep. It goes so far back. I feel like it's like what you're made of. Okay. I feel like you were made for this is also what I'm getting. All right. So let's talk a little bit about nebula and this creation and the fact that like the nebula is like an outline of an eagle. And so let's tap into that a bit. It says we're all creators for our own lives. Everyone creates. It is part of humanity. Okay. Dare to create something new, a business, a relationship, an artwork, or a life. You can create a new life for yourself every single day. You don't need to be an artist to create. So the Eagle Nebula is a young open cluster of stars in the Serpens constellation. It was discovered by Jean-Philippe de Chezeaux in 1745. It's spectacular because the nebula has the eagle shape and it's very noticeable. And it's been very heavily photographed actually. And there's like these impressive looking columns of stars forming like gas in the dust, and a true creative playground for like cosmic construction. So it's kind of like, you know, the blank canvas, and there's been like a bit of an outline established, but you don't quite know where the artist is going with the amount of detail on this art. So it's kind of like things are in motion, things are in flow, things are being like created. And beliefs make manifest as well. So that might be a bit of reflection for you to kind of like do a bit of check-in to see like, okay, like what's been heavily on my mind, and am I creating more of this? Do I want more of this? Do that inner like temperature check. Okay. And then I have limitless. And this is just understanding like infinite, okay? Things are infinite, possible, limitless, okay? It's an amazing energy. And this talks about the omega. So stop limiting yourself unnecessarily. Why fear so much? Understand why you limit yourself. Yes, you should develop healthy structure and discipline, but making yourself small on purpose benefits few, and definitely not you. Release yourself from anyone who constantly or consistently keeps you on eggshells. All right, so this is a bit of like, okay, like where am I restricting myself? How am I still running a narrative that kind of shames me for something I know I should have done that I haven't done yet? Like, where's the safe space? Like, we need to hold safe space so that we're not limiting ourselves, okay? Especially through a narrative, a self-narrative. That is something you can control. And so I feel like, again, like the mindset with this and how you see things, very important because it's like connected. I also have protection here. All right, the helix, the eye of God. In fact, the eye of God. And I feel like there has been a transformation here. There's a lot of change happening here, which is also amazing. Let's see what this says. Know you are loved and protected. To live an authentic life, you must engage with healthy boundaries for yourself. Take your time in trusting new people. Let people show you who they are, okay? Especially in business and with finances right now. Double check all contracts thoroughly before signing. While you are partially the product of your ancestors, you have free will, which is priceless, mind you. Take only the positive from your ancestry, okay? And be aware of any family patterns. It stops with you. So this really talks about, you know, really understanding things from the overall perspective, needing to zoom out so that you can zoom in with a different lens. It reminds me of, I think it's that movie National Treasure, and they steal the Declaration of Independence, and on the back of the Declaration of Independence is like this whole map, but they can't see the map because it was created with magic. And part of that magic is a different lensed pair of glasses. And so it's kind of like you only can see things illuminate when there's a certain condition and it relates to the ability to see. So I'm relating that to like the ability to see through illusions, the veil, clairvoyance, the abilities to have extrasensory. I feel like these are all needed, and these are all being, I guess, awakened, remembered. And that's why like free will is very important, as well as the information that you take in, and to know and discern, you know, what is bringing you back to yourself or what is trying to create some sort of separation. Okay. So where you're having to look outside of yourself. Those are some good ways in which to decide if something truly is for you or isn't for you. And then I just kind of like just open the book here, and I'm on Virgo, and this talks about justice. And it says, seek justice in the situation, but justice can be slow, but it will be done. Justice is linked to achieving cosmic balance. Renewal is possible, balance will be achieved. So that's like the overall arching purpose with all of this. Okay, the last card on the deck, bottom of the deck energy is power. So we're gonna go to that. This is in the constellation section. But I usually don't like just, you know, jump to a page in a book. So that was pretty awesome. Thank you for that. Clearly it needed to be mentioned at this time. I feel like we're seeing a lot of balance being restored, and it's happening on a very large scale. And some of it is out of our control. And sometimes that's hard because we're wanting to control, right? We've had many lifetimes and we want to come back and we want to control, but some of us are having to pull back and let things play out naturally. So you may be finding that playing out in your own personal life, feeling the need to kind of like observe instead of like having to control everything. Maybe you're releasing the need to be right. That is also an indicator of that type of higher perspective and just being in the flow and allowing. All right, let's see if we can find this power. Where is this? Is this? Oh, yeah, it's in this deck. You know, sometimes it takes a bit to recalibrate. All right. I'm looking, I feel like I'm looking at the wrong deck, but I'm not. All right, so we're going to break there. There's another deck I wanted to work with here, so we're going to do that now. Okay. I have an Akashic Events night at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time tonight. You can book on the website. We're going to go into the Akashic Records and ask some questions. You can bring your own questions if you'd like. What are we looking to get from here? Anything? Okay, whoops, okay. Earth, Gaia. That's what it is. It's like, look at everything that, you know, is being integrated, cultivated. Everything is changing, shifting, moving in some sort of like cycle pattern. This is part of a very important cycle, and Earth is it. Like, she's the baby. Like, she's the one that everyone is like focused on, concerned about, wanting to nurture. So this is like really nature versus nurture too. So you could be someone who's extremely close to nature. You may like be able to connect with all the elements too. So you could be like a weaver. Anybody know what that is? You might be doing like grid work. Yeah, look at, you might be a weaver. Look at how beautiful this is. Look at that. Yeah, you might. So as far as like signs are concerned, earth signs, air signs. Okay, let's see. You might be here to weave a new creation for Gaia, Mother Earth, outer core, fluidity. Yeah, it's like becoming fluid, becoming one with all of existence. It's like, you know, almost like appearing from one realm to another. You might be someone who can integrate in that way. Okay, you could be between both worlds. I know, I'm a dork. I love it. I love it. Wow, passion. You could also be a seer. This is an artist as well. Like I say, I would say you have a very like deep knowing. You can maybe see through people's souls. You might be able to connect with people's souls, passions, and be able to provide them some sort of awareness, guidance, enlightenment. Maybe you see things in others that they can't see themselves. And then all of a sudden they become aware, they come out. There's this like unveiling. This could be you being unveiled. Look at dark matter. Number 38. Wow. So yeah, I'm getting like there's a lot of like traveling. A lot of portals. I'm getting a lot of portals. You might be a time traveler. Oof, I'm getting a lot. You could be an interdimensional being here. Look at this. Look at this beautiful creation here. You're here to create. You're here to birth something new. Okay, so whatever you're birthing, whatever you're nurturing, whatever you're in hibernation doing, you're surrounding whatever you've created. And then look at this fire energy. Wow, another element. And then we have electricity. Look at this energy. Look at this connection. Look at this like spirit connection. This could be like just your soul's imprint, blueprint. I feel like there's like this huge awakening here. This huge like explosion. I feel like there's this like explosion of energy here. Okay, so let me look at these 4 cards. All right. This is the Elemental Oracle deck. And I've only used it a couple times, so I wanted to use it more. So it says, be fluid in your thinking. Holding on to ideas in a rigid way is not beneficial for you. A nimble mind is a healthy mind. It is never too late to admit you are wrong or to change your mind according to new information. Okay? So what's cool about this is the earth has 4 layers: crust, mantle, outer core, and inner core. The outer core is a fluid layer about 2,400 kilometers thick that lies above Earth's solid inner core, and it's composed of mostly nickel and iron. It's extremely hot. It is a low viscosity fluid and is extremely magnetic. The magnetism is vital to the protection of the Earth from the solar radiation. The radiation is pushed to the poles where it can be disseminated safely. The fluidity of the outer core is necessary to life, and being flexible and fluid in your thinking and ideas makes life flowful. Resisting change by holding rigid ideas of the past and beliefs benefits no one and stunts your growth. Being open to new ideas and feeling confident to transform old ones, especially if you're given more information, is the way to navigate change. Beautiful. I couldn't agree more. All right, next is passion. The soul, all right? This talks about the soul and why we're here. What is the spark that lights up when you think about joy, bliss, passion? The divine lives within you. Consider your motivations carefully. Know where your resistance lies. We all have more than one purpose in life, and having a passion makes us feel more alive. The idea that passion lives within your heart or soul is both an ancient and common one. To put your heart into any activity means to dedicate yourself completely or make a great effort. To live your passion means your soul is expressing itself through someone or something. The Greek word charisma means gift of grace. In ancient Greek, it meant literally a gift shining through. Passionate people are easy to identify. They are focused, action-oriented, and propelled by their intensity. The friend that can not stop talking about their new love interest, the teacher who lights up when they are teaching their subject, the scientist who stays up all night happily working on their research, or those who continue to share messages because that is their passion and purpose. Whether or not you believe in the concept of the soul, it's hard not to believe in purposeful passion. We do not need a spiritual framework to see the good being engaged when we try to attain something we want or believe we can do, especially with positive and beneficial intentions for others as well as yourself. Okay, so we're going to go to the next one. Good messages here. I'm loving it. Okay, dark matter, mystery. The world still has mystery. Yeah, it does. I feel like you went down this slippery slope, okay? The world still has mystery, and this is a fine thing. Just because you cannot see it doesn't mean it's not there. Isn't that the truth? You do not have to know the details of everything. Some things are better not revealed at this time, and have faith. Imagine an elemental force that makes up possibly 85% of the universe that you can't see and remains elusive, but you know it is there. Okay, imagine this elemental matter is called dark because it's hard to perceive and it doesn't interact with electromagnetic radiation such as light. So it is virtually undetectable. It's like the void. Yes, mysterious. How do we know such a thing exists if it remains invisible? Reasonable question. The math says it's highly possible due to the way the universe behaves. In practice, the term dark matter is often used to mean only the non-baryonic component of dark matter. I don't know about you, this is getting very sciencey. It's like mathy almost. Okay. We still don't know what dark matter is made up of, although there are many theories. Scientists have managed to categorize dark matter by cold, warm, and hot, terms that refer to velocity rather than temperature. Okay. Dark matter is the subject of a huge amount of study. For now, we know we have a mysterious force that holds the universe together. Okay, which is a fantastic concept and one that invites the idea of unknowable into the frame. So it's like believing in the unknown, even though it's unknown. All right. And I feel like that's where faith comes in. All right. Science doesn't have to know everything. And I don't know that science ever will. Right. And this is the element of air. Okay. Dark matter. Fascinating. Fascinating. All right. Next one is electricity. This is like wildness. Embrace your wildness. Break free of your self-imposed constraints. Take immediate action. There's no need for further consideration of your problem. You contain the spark of the divine, so there's no reason to feel lesser, so confront the issue head on. All right, so this is like empowering you. Have you ever stood out in a storm and felt the power of the lightning? Have you ever felt the hairs go up on the neck and arms and the smelt of the ozone actually crack? While I'm not encouraging you to go into harm's way, feeling the power of lightning is one amazing way to get connected to the element of electricity. Electricity isn't just generated during storms, it is pretty much everywhere. Our bodies generate and conduct electricity, and we run on electricity. Each of our cells is designed to conduct energy through some sort of current, and the chemical elements our bodies, as such as like calcium, potassium, sodium, elicit a particular electrical charge. And if you notice, even crystals can be a conduit for electricity. Okay. So our bodies use certain combinations of these electrical impulses to form thoughts, movements, and instructive behaviors. Some fish generate enough electrical impulses to shock their prey. Certain organs, such as the heart, need specific electrical currents to work. The electrical impulses that cause the heart to pump is possibly the best example that we can see of how the spark of electricity is vital to our balance and health. It is the pump, right? The spark of the divine is within you, and it is electric in inspiration. So this is like igniting the fire within. This is representing the fire element, which is very cool. Beautiful messages with this deck. Yes. All right. I'm trying really hard not to get them like confused. All right, so we're going to use this tarot deck for some advice. That was interesting. Thank you for sticking with me if you've made it this far. All right. There were definitely like some messages for me in there too, so I'm glad to share with them. I'm glad to share them. All right, Spirit. What does the channel need to know at this time? Thank you. We have the Six of Pentacles and the Two of Swords. Material needs to get fulfilled in some sort of magical way. So it's kind of like the energy you put out returns back to you. And I feel like you are open to receive regardless of how they come. And then there's this like acts of kindness and like paying it forward and giving or receiving with just like a super grateful heart. Okay. I feel like there is something that needs to be decided upon. So whether you're at this crossroads now or later, I feel like there is a problem here that might be overanalyzed. So maybe there's a need to kind of like step back so that you can step in with a higher perspective in mind to make this decision. Okay, it's Two of Swords. I think it has something to do with the direction. Okay, it could have something to do with like something's not worth your energy. and it no longer aligns with you. I do have the Seven of Swords and then the Ten of Swords. So this is a lot of like mindset. This is a lot about what's taking up space when it comes to your ability to create. Like, what are those constant thoughts? What are those beliefs? What are you, maybe the programming? It could be something related to that. I feel like there's something that like you're thinking about or wavering on. And I feel like there is a better course of action, and it has something to do with like a decision that you have to make. So I feel like maybe it's not always great for you to work alone, or maybe there's something you need to do that would benefit from a partnership or a collaboration of some kind, or maybe you're not the one with the expertise, but someone else is, and maybe you can, you know, give that to where it needs to be so that you can focus on what's truly in alignment for you. Just because you can doesn't mean you should kind of energy. That's what I'm getting. Yeah, I feel like working alone may not be the best answer. So maybe there's some things that, you know, you might want to investigate when it comes to like the details of things. Maybe there are things that like you can farm out, okay, because they're the experts. So like say, sure, you can do your own taxes, but you know, it might take you twice as long instead of going to a professional to do it. So I feel like there are certain like compromises, right? Considerations that may or may not serve you. And so it's like using your discernment to know like, okay, you know, what direction to take with those. And then there's like this ending too. So there very much could be something that is like coming to an end in some way. It is for the benefit of like having new opportunities and new experiences. I feel like whatever this like might be, it could be that like you don't, it's okay to move on from it too. Like you can leave, maybe it's work related is kind of what I'm getting. So maybe you're like on a lot of projects or you have a lot of responsibilities and you feel like if you walk away from this, there'll be some sort of like, I don't know, dissonance as it relates to that. So I feel like you're being freed. There's a need to put the past behind you. Okay, so I feel like whatever this is, whatever's coming in, that is a decision for you to make, it's going to help you put the past behind you. Okay, bottom of the deck is the Sun. That's a yes. All right, this is Archangel Uriel. Life is wonderful. Thrive through the power of positive thinking. So, you know, don't think, you know, be careful of your thoughts. They manifest. So you don't want to continue to like focus on the negative of things. Like take the good with the bad. And if something comes to an end and you're needing to like rise above a situation and leave with grace, I feel like that's what you're being asked to do. There is something better coming in for you. Whatever ending this is, it is to free you so that you can put the past behind once and for all. So this could be like a very big life change. I feel like this is through like thriving through difficulty, overcoming, you know, seeing the light in a situation and focusing on the light, like the glimmer of things. I feel like there's an inspiring success here. I feel like you will be successful at the end of this. Okay, so I feel like almost like I am the prize, like go get him, tiger, like. And then I have Four of Pentacles and the Lovers. Okay, interesting. I feel like you're not doing this alone. I feel like there's some sort of partnership, something that somebody wants to invest in and create some sort of like grounded energy here. I feel like making choices from the heart, emotional commitments, and the power of love. I feel like this is you giving and receiving. And this is going to be something that like, you know, is going to be like very powerful, very inspiring. I feel like you are deserving, you know, to have this new chapter in your life. And I feel like things are being aligned. You're working on aligning with the Seven of Swords. This is like 9 swords. And then we have 10 swords. So it's like, you know, things are being like stripped out of your life. You could feel like there's nobody around anymore. There's a lot of like mindset energy here. I don't see any cups. I don't see any pentacles. And I don't see any wands. Oh, I do see 4 of pentacles, but otherwise, and the 6 of pentacles. But again, like that's representing like 10 of pentacles here. And this is like the energy in what you ground yourself in, right? I feel like everything else is like outside influences, like what's you're surrounded by. Like the energy projection is what I'm getting. And I feel like you're stable, you're secure, like you're in your own energy here. And I feel like the 7 of Swords and the 10 of Swords is like the circumstances, the conflicts. And I feel like you're not even in these conflicts, which is fascinating. Because I'm getting with the 7 of Swords, this really talks about like, you know, you have a choice to make. You can either focus on the past or focus on the future. And I feel like there are energies that want to keep you focused on the past. And I feel like that's part of the you overcoming, is to like really leave it in the past. Okay. That's what you're being encouraged to do, is leave it in the past. Like these burdens are not your burdens. Okay. And then I have the High Priestess. Yeah, I feel like you have powerful insights. I feel like listen to your instincts and your insights, reflection and meditation, right? And connecting with oneself through whatever practice. It could be going to the gym. It could be cooking. It could be cleaning, whatever. It doesn't matter. Everybody has their thing, and that should be embraced. Like just because one person does it this way doesn't mean you have to do it that way. Okay. You do you, boo. All right. I feel like you get valuable information when you need it. And I feel like because of all of this, you're at peace. I feel like you protect your peace, okay, at all costs. All right, there is a new contract. And we were getting energy here saying like, make sure you review everything carefully. Maybe even have someone else review it. You have what it takes to succeed. And then it says it again here, review contracts or documents very thoroughly, all right? And I feel like, you know, there is insights that are coming. You might be getting ideas. You might be getting downloads. You might need some like time to break, maybe take a break in between something. And this could be energy seeking relief from stress. So maybe a bit of like unwinding, doing things that you love, maybe reading a book. And then I split the deck and I have an Emperor. I feel like an Emperor's coming in, or you're the Emperor. I feel like there is like some sort of opportunity that's being offered. It could be like in the form of like a grant, a scholarship, a contract, a new position. It could be an opportunity to learn something new, apply something new, like just maybe redirection, like using what you've mastered so far and applying it in a different way. That's the energy I'm getting. This could be you being a business owner, a leader, someone who would happy Father's Day to the fathers, Emperor energy. Yeah, so I feel like, you know, there's a lot happening here for your highest and greatest good. I feel like the biggest thing here is to continue to be in flow. Okay, go with the flow. All right, and when you are inspired and you feel the push to take action on something and you're open to receive the guidance, I feel like you'll get the information you need when you need it. And if you need resources, ask. Okay, ask for what you need. Okay, and just trust that it will be provided to you in the way that it needs to be provided. All right, I feel like when we expect things to be a certain kind of way, we're trying to like micromanage the universe. And I don't think they like that very much. I know for sure. I've tried. I've tried to do that. Yeah, I feel like there's maybe even some truth here. Or you might be somebody who, you know, has some sort of wisdom. You could be like, don't kill the messenger, okay? Don't kill the messenger, right? We need the messengers, okay? You might see a lot of birds. You might really pick up on what, like weather, and you're tuning into the cycles. And again, like understanding like there's a lot going on, you know, at a much bigger level, and we're experiencing our own challenges to overcome here. So kind of just like pay attention and see how many of these might relate to one another, okay? And see how, when you focus on something internally, how it might better things externally, okay? Because they are connected. All right, this was fun. I hope you guys enjoyed it. You know, as I try to get to know these decks a little more. I appreciate your patience and sticking with the reading through the end. And if you could like, share, and comment to support the channel, I would appreciate it. And as a reminder, we have an Akashic Records session tonight if you want to come. It's just a little workshop. We're gonna tap in and ask some questions and get some guidance. So totally up to you. Betweenbothworlds.org if you want to sign up for the class, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye now.